Finding something scary in a Mario game doesn't seem like it would be very likely. I mean, Nintendo isn't the biggest fan of driving away their family-friendly market, but if something isn't directly scary, I think it kinda gets a pass. Yeah, you won't get jump scared in a Mario game, except maybe that one time in Mario 64, but the franchise has had its fair share of scares in it. Everyone knows what an Easter egg is, and if you take a look at my channel, you'll see that I'm a fan of the scary ones. I just think it's fascinating that you can get scared in a game like Nintendo Labo House. And if you don't know what I mean, go check out my video on why people like scary Easter eggs. I'm pretty proud of it. I talk more in depth at the Labo House Easter egg, and I've got to say that that one is one of my faves. The Mario franchise has definitely had some obvious scares, like the way the eel looks in Mario 64 or the zombie costume in Mario Odyssey. I mean, from the very start, the original Super Mario Bros. Manual told you that Bowser was kidnapping residents of the Mushroom Kingdom and turning them into bricks. The same bricks you break throughout the game. Yeah, you're kind of unwillingly killing the Toads. That's pretty dark. But in this video, I want to talk about a few of the not-so-obvious scares. The scary Easter eggs. I can't guarantee that I'll cover them all, but I will take a look at a few of my standout favorites. Since there's no time like the present, let's start with one of the most interesting. The Shining references in Mario Sunshine. In Mario Sunshine, there's an island you can go to called Isle Serena. This island weirdly exists at constant sunset, even if it was just daytime before you got there. On the isle, there is a mansion that is just full of booze. And not the fun kind. Instead, we have to deal with these tsundere ghosts. If you have ever even heard of The Shining, you probably know that it takes place in a haunted hotel. Alone, that would be a pretty weak connection of the two. I mean, Stephen King didn't invent the haunted hotel genre, but luckily, the game makes it more obvious with this next connection. In the first mission on this island, you have to fight this giant, ghostly manta ray that splits off into smaller mantas. Sunshine being a more tropical Mario game, the mantas don't really seem that out of place, but listen to this excerpt of The Shining from the end of the book. From the window of the presidential suite, he thought he saw a huge dark shape issue, blotting out the snowfield behind it. For a moment, it assumed the shape of a huge, obscene manta, and then the wind seemed to catch it, to tear it and shred it like old dark paper. It fragmented, was caught in a whirling eddy of smoke, and a moment later it was gone, as if it had never been. This passage makes the connection pretty clear in my opinion, and as a big fan of The Shining, I felt really smart when I realized this, even though it doesn't really matter. But now I can say that my knowledge of that book paid off one time, and that's enough for me. The next Easter egg I'm going to talk about is an absolute classic. If you've seen any video about Easter eggs ever, you've no doubt seen this. In the Shiverburn Galaxy in Mario Galaxy 2, you can look up at the sky and see these weird alien things looking at you from the top of the cliff. In the files of the game, these things are called Hell Valley Sky Trees. I mean, they look creepy, especially if you didn't expect to see them, but the name is scary on its own. Hell Valley could be referring to the fact that the area you see them in has lava in it, and maybe Sky Trees refers to them as being a tree in the sky or something. But these guys really just look like aliens. The Hell Valley Sky Trees in Mario Galaxy 2 are iconic, but I'm not sure what it is that makes them so popular. I'm not underselling how neat this one is, I just think it's weird that this one Easter egg in particular is one of the most talked about. I have no problem with it though. I think this one is super fun and one of the things that got me so into the whole topic. I remember watching Top 15s back in 2015, and from then on, I can only hear Hell Valley Sky Trees and Chill's voice, and the nostalgia can't get any better than that.
Further investigating into the level's code gives the creatures the name Hell Valley Skytree.
Super Mario 3D Land on the DS is one of my favorite games from the DS, and I actually have 2 entries on this list from it. This first one isn't scary per se, but it is odd and kind of creepy if you think about it. Several times throughout the game, you can use the binocular tool and see a UFO flying in the sky. It's not super scary, but hey, maybe it's a UFO from a Hell Valley Skytree. They could just be keeping tabs on Mario in the game, kind of like a King and Kodo situation from The Simpsons. If you fill in your own blanks there, it can be pretty interesting, but I think it's creepy enough to qualify. The next from 3D Land is scarier. In World 4-4, you'll find your very first ghost house in the game, but it's not what's inside the house that's scary. When you get to the end of the level, don't climb the flagpole immediately. If you go to the fence and wait for a few, a ghostly face will emerge and slowly disappear. This ghost is way scarier than anything else I've mentioned so far. I think that's mainly because it isn't super obvious, it's subtle and it fades in, and something about the fade in spooks me. I feel like this guy has really been watching you watch him. That's why it takes so long. He feels like a real, unexplained thing in this universe, and I want to know more about him, but at the same time, I think I'm good. I think that's why I like it. Speaking of things I really like, let's talk about that weird, skinny Mario from Mario Maker. In Mario Maker, you can get a mushroom called a weird mushroom. Using it makes Mario all tall and skinny. You can also find him by knocking on the doors in the level designer. I genuinely don't know a single thing about him, and that is absolutely by design. I just want to touch on him here because I love the idea of it. And I definitely found him creepy at first. I see a lot of people call him Creepy Mario as well, but I think he's just a weird little guy. I think he's a fun addition to any game, and I'm wondering when we can expect him to be playable in the next Mario Kart. This next one, I'm not sure we can count as an Easter egg, but I haven't seen enough people talk about it to be sure, so I'll call it an Easter egg in the same vein that Luigi's Mansion's Hanging Shadow is an Easter egg. Could be a glitch, but weird and interesting, all the same. Going to New Donk City in Mario Odyssey, the Odyssey parks in this area kind of disconnected from the rest of the city. You can see this guy standing in the very corner, jumping up and down. Pretty weird that it looks like he's trying to jump off the platform that New Donk City is on. Getting a closer look at him by walking near him though shows that he's not even there. If you try walking up to this guy, he fades out of existence and won't come back until you leave. Is this game really implying that he could be like a ghost or something? As far as I know, there isn't anything else in this area that fades out like that based on distance from the player. That's one of the things that makes me think it might have been intentional to just have this weirdo ghost in the corner. I'm not sure why they would, but then again, why would they do any of these things I've talked about? You can't really tell, and I'd accept if it was a glitch, but I prefer to think that there really is something out there. Keeps things interesting when you get to use your imagination like that. So those are just a few of my favorite scary Easter eggs in Mario games. Did I miss a lot of them? Let me know in the comments. It's kind of hard to figure out a comprehensive, list of this type of thing. You can find as many Mario Easter eggs as you want online, but not a lot of people are looking for scary ones. I know there are some in games like Luigi's Mansion or Captain Toad, but I wasn't sure those qualified as Mario games specifically. Though I would be willing to compile a list of my favorite scary Nintendo Easter eggs in a future video. I seriously love this stuff, and I hope you do too. If you like the video, I'd appreciate if you liked it. I'm having a great time making these. And that's the end of this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you have anything you want me to make a video about, let me know in the comments. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye!